Welcome back to the Football Terrace. Manchester United have officially announced the signing of Bruno Fernandes for a fee in the region of £46 million with various performance-related add-ons that could take the deal up to that £68 million mark. We'll delve into the financials a little bit later. He signs a 4.5-year contract, and even the salary he's coming in for is rather modest. Estimated between the £90,000 to £95,000 a week mark. And when I say modest, I'm talking in the footballing context, not that of the average working man like you and I. But £90,000 to £95,000 per week. And this is a player that has been absolutely tearing it up in the Portuguese system, and of course in Europe as well, with 79 goal contributions in 81 games in the past season and a half is absolutely phenomenal. I think he broke Frank Lampard's record last season of scoring the most amount of goals in Europe from a midfield player. And it shows the tremendous talent that he has. And when you read and when you do your research on Bruno Fernandes, there's more to his game than just the creativity in goals. He can tackle, he can track back, he can read, intercept, he can battle. But the element that excites me the most about Bruno Fernandes coming to the Premier League is his age. It's the maturity that comes with being in your mid-20s. I love the traditions of Manchester United buying young and developing, or taking from the academy and pushing them towards stardom. But the one aspect of play, one type of player that Man United are really missing are individuals that are in the peak of their powers. Mata and Matic are over the hill. We're not sure whether Paul Pogba is going to be here beyond the end of the season. Of course, you've got Maguire and David De Gea that kind of fit that category. But everybody else is either inexperienced or for me, too young to have that responsibility of being the shining light and leading Manchester United forward. These young players, the Mason Greenwoods, the Rashford, McTominays, Williams, you even put Wan-Bissaka into that category as an example, they really do need experienced personnel around them, just older people in general. And I think that's the same in most walks of life, whether you're a trainee electrician, whether you're working in the banking system, whether you're becoming a lawyer, an accountant, any aspect of sport or business, you need those elder statesmen. You need those stalwarts, those people that have been there and done it, that have the experience, that have gone through your stage of development to help guide you and to give you that experience. And I've worked with some young people that are tremendously talented. In fact, I've met some young people that, 10 years my junior, that's far more talented within my profession than I am. But the one thing they genuinely lack is that experience, what to do in moments of, through trials and tribulations, how to handle difficult circumstances that particular skills don't get you through. It's about experience, it's having been there, done that, and worn the t-shirt. So that's the area for me that excites me the most about this. It's a tremendous piece of business from Man United. I also feel that we know culturally here in the UK, across Europe, and probably globally, if I'm being absolutely honest, there is such a nasty underbelly at this moment in time within the culture. There is extreme right, there is extreme left, there is a lot of turbulence and a lot of polarization. And of course, we've seen Donald Trump be elected, Brexit happen, the Conservatives win power back in the UK again. And it's caused a lot of friction amongst the population. And something I've always really loved about football is that, generally speaking, it's been an environment where your politics, your business, your personal life can be put aside and you can enjoy the game. I have fond memories of travelling to Old Trafford every other week, going to away games with the supporters club I was part of in London. And the minibuses, coaches and trains we got together, you had people of different ages, you had men and women, different nationalities, ethnicities, religions, and then professions. And with that, you would find different political views. And sometimes on the trains and that these subjects would come up, but not really. We just spoke football. But I found it amazing, wonderful, and beautiful that you had all these people of different ages, genders, religions, and cultures that centered around football. And we were here for football. And I don't know who started this very strange notion that because Man United wanted to add more of a British core to their team, that's representative of xenophobia. Picked up the nickname Brexit FC. And every time United were linked with a British or an English player, it almost felt like half the fan base would be angry about that, as if it was somehow offensive to non-British players. And then you would have the other half that would fight back and defend it in some which way. And I think that the most important thing about Bruno Fernandes is him improving the football team. Is him performing and helping us to win, score goals, win games, win points, win trophies. That's what you want. But I also think it goes some way to, again, debunking the myths that are created by some very divisive people that I think know full well there's never been any type of weird, xenophobic, bigoted, prejudice agenda from Manchester United to not buy foreign players. You think Man United's main core is a Spaniard, a Swede, a Brazilian, a Frenchman, a Portuguese man. Is that what you say? A Portuguese man, I'll just say that. And a Frenchman, another Frenchman in Martial. It doesn't sound particularly xenophobic in that way to me. So I'm really glad that it's come in. It puts those nasty, divisive people to the side. And we already know there's a very toxic nature at Manchester United due to people being very unhappy with our current predicament. What doesn't need to happen is you don't need non-existent issues being created. And I think when there are times of turbulence and trials and tribulations, as I mentioned, it's easier to wind the fan base up, because if whoever started this Brexit thing online, if United were top of the Premier League winning titles, nobody would have paid it any attention. But it's only because people are angry. It's very easy to get into their head. So that aside, excellent signing, goals galore, creativity. And what I really like is the versatility that comes with Bruno Fernandes. I want to see him play as advanced as possible. I want to see his creativity and his goal scoring come to life. But if he does need to play in a box-to-box midfielder role, that is very, very doable for him as well. So I'm really excited about it. I'm genuinely excited about seeing him in a Man United shirt. There's a lot of debate over whether he'll wear number 18, number 8. A few people are calling for him to get the almost the tainted number 7 shirt now. Although I do think Man United are going to wait until they sign a right-sided attacking player to give that to them. I wouldn't mind seeing him. I mean, who is number 8 at the moment? I swear that's Juan Mata. But I could be very, very wrong. I don't pay that much attention to what numbers people have on the back of their shirts. I get the sense you might pick up number 18, which is, of course, a very iconic shirt at the club. I'm just going to search now, actually, while I'm talking to you. Man United squad numbers. Is Mata number 8? I'm sure he is. Now that I've said that. Yeah, Mata is number 8. So you'll probably keep that. Number 18 seems more likely. It's going to be interesting. Like, genuinely, I'm interested to see what he does. But having said that, is the number really important? When you think about it in a cold light of day, is it really that important? I know some people pay a lot of people put a lot of time into what numbers people are wearing. Maybe not. But I think, yeah, Juan Mata is the number 8, so it's very unlikely to be that. Number 18 it will probably be, but there we go. I'm more interested in the position that he plays on the field, if I'm being completely and utterly honest. And I want him to play in that attacking midfield role. I don't really want to see him dropping in next to Fred with Pereira or Lingard in front of him. I feel, although he'll do a very good job in that double pivot role, I think you're taking away one of his best assets from the creativity point of view. What will be very interesting is when Paul Pogba returns. That's a matter of weeks away. What system we play, how we play, a 4-3-3, maybe with Fred in that kind of holding role in the middle with Pogba and Bruno either side of him, has a certain ring to it. You then have the 4-2-3-1 where he can play in that position. You then might have what we've seen in recent games, which has worked quite well for United, 2 clean sheets on the bounce, 3 at the back, and then a 4 with 2 wing backs and 2 holding midfield players and a number 10 role, which isn't too dissimilar really from. And that's the thing with a lot of these formations, they're kind of one and the same thing in many, many ways. But it's going to be interesting to see. It's going to be, I'm intrigued to see how it pans out and how it kind of grows over the course of the next few weeks. But look, congratulations to Bruno for becoming a Manchester United football player. I have to say well done to Man United. It was a long drawn out process, but they stood their ground. They did compromise towards the end to get it done, which I think is the fair thing to do. But they didn't succumb to the demands. And remember, on the financials, it's £46 million today. There are then performance-related bonuses that are related to him scoring goals, creating goals, and then him being involved in somewhere in the region of 60 to 70% of games, and United in that time period qualifying for the Champions League. They get the 5 million extra, and then they get 5 million extra for goals and assists. Those two things are doable. So that would take it up to around £56 million. The remaining 12 million is if he wins the Ballon d'Or. So do not allow any media outlets to overinflate this in terms of the add-ons. It's what they will like to do. They like to stretch it out. You might even see some soon whack on his salary and potential goal bonuses and everything else onto the total price just to try and make it look more expensive. But what Man United are putting out right now is £46 million for a player who scored and created 79 goals in 81 games in the past 1.5 seasons. Absolutely tremendous. I want to know what you're thinking. I want to know what you're feeling. Leave your comments below and we'll see you all again soon. Bye-bye.